Most people playing 007 First Light on a laptop are doing it at 1080p. Safe choice, correct? And I myself in my earlier video recommended 1080p. Makes sense, nobody questions it and it works well. But I kept looking at the game and thinking, this is one of the best looking titles of this year. Big open environments, incredible lighting, proper cinematic scale, and I'm watching it through a 1080p window on a 1440p screen. So the question I wanted to answer, can a mid-range laptop, specifically like the RTX 5060, actually run this game at 1440p? Not survive it, actually run it. I also tested frame generation at 1080p to see if it could fix the heavy scenes, and the result was not what I expected. That's coming up, and I'll show you what happens when DLSS 4.5 upscales from 360p. Yes, 360p. And whether the image still holds. Well, this one genuinely surprised me, but it comes with conditions. Let me show you everything. First thing I tested, which DLSS mode actually holds 60 FPS at 1440p, and only one of them really does. Balance at 1440p struggles, and it gives FPS in the mid 40s in most of the sections, and anything heavier falls apart. Performance mode is better, but it still has its moments. You'll see it drop when the scene gets heavy and gets busy also. So ultra performance is the one that actually holds. And I know you're thinking, ultra performance at 1440p means rendering at 480p and upscaling? That sounds terrible, but hold on. Look at the footage. This is ultra performance on a 1440p screen. The DLSS 4.5 transformer model is doing some serious work here. Fine detail holds, motion stays clean. It doesn't look like you're playing at low resolution. It looks like a well optimized game. And especially on laptop screens which are 16 inches, you probably cannot make out most of the differences. But the whole image itself will look a bit sharper. And just to show you how far this technology has come, this is 1080p with ultra performance. The game is rendering at 360p and upscaling to 1080p, 360 pixels. And it's still okay. I mean, it's not great or anything. I wouldn't run it like this every day. But the fact that it holds at all tells you everything about where DLSS is right now. But a hotel car park scene is one thing. I needed to find the worst possible scenario for this setup, and I found it. The airport sequence. Bond goes after 009, heavy action, big explosions, a lot happening simultaneously. This is the worst case scenario for 1440p on a mid-range laptop. I ran it at 1440p DLSS 4.5 ultra performance, and it mostly holds 60 FPS. There are dips in the absolute peak of the explosion, but it recovers fast and it doesn't break. Also, 1080p DLSS quality does not seem to handle this section very well, and balance is slightly better than quality, but still with a few drops here and there. Now here's where it gets really interesting. I tested frame generation at 1080p quality in this same airport section just to see if we can recover some FPS, and balanced in Pirate King's section. I wanted to see if it actually doubles the frames or at least gives me 40% more frames, and that would fix the remaining dips. Well, it didn't. Not the way it should. And the reason is VRAM. The RTX 5060 has 8GB of VRAM. At 1080p with high textures, you're already pushing the budget in demanding scenes. When VRAM fills up and the game starts pulling from system memory, FrameGen loses the headroom it needs to synthesize clean frames. The GPU is already working too hard, the uplift just isn't there. So I didn't even test FrameGen at 1440p. Because guess what? Even with medium textures, the VRAM budget is already tight. So going FrameGen at 1440p was just out of question. Frame generation is not the answer here, and this is exactly why 1440p ultra performance setup without frame generation is the smarter call. You're not fighting VRAM and you're not chasing numbers that don't materialize. You're just running the game cleanly. This is what I meant when I said that frame generation results wasn't what I expected. Supposed to be more frames on paper, but VRAM took them away. So we've seen the worst case. Now let me show you what the rest of the game actually looks like on this setup. The desert drive, smooth 1440p DLSS ultra performance, mostly 60, holds it through the open landscape without any drama. The Pirate King section with the big crowds, this is where I expected trouble. Lots of characters, lots of simulation, it dips occasionally, but it doesn't break. You're still in the playable, enjoyable range. 98% of this game at 1440p DLSS ultra performance is at or above 60 FPS. That's not a compromise, that's a working setup. So here's the config. 3 settings, that's all it takes. Medium textures, no compromise here. Everything else set to high. DLSS ultra performance and resolution at 1440p and frame generation off. Do not chase frame generation at 1440p. The VRAM math isn't in your favor and I've already proven it doesn't deliver even at 1080p properly. Don't leave textures on high, you'll pay for it in the heavy scenes. And don't be scared of ultra performance, this game's upscaling earns it. The RTX 5060 laptop can run 007 First Light at 1440p, you just need to know which 3 settings to change. If this saved you some time, subscribe. I'm doing this for every major release this year. The settings breakdown nobody else is doing for this kind of hardware. See you in the next one.